Hello, this video is part 6 of the fractions playlist. What we're going to do here is practice what we've learned in the first 5 videos. So it's kind of in the style of the morning maths videos. It would be good if you had a piece of paper. It would be excellent if you had a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and you record the workings that I record and you practice solving fractions questions using the knowledge we gained from the first 5 videos. So questions 1 to 8 are really a year 3 level, mostly, and questions, well, the last 4 questions are really for year 4s, but I'd love year 4 to do all 12 questions. So I'm going to work my way through the questions. You should record what I record, just like in the morning maths videos, if you've used those, and I hope you have. And we'll just try to improve our accuracy with answering fractions questions. So question 1. What fraction of A is shaded? Well, what's A? It's A here. It's this shape here. What fraction of A is shaded? Well, one part is shaded out of 2 parts altogether. 1, 2. So shaded part is on the top and 2 parts altogether. What fraction of A is shaded? It's 1 out of 2, usually known as 1/2. So record that, pause the video if you need to catch up. We're going on to part 2, question 2. What fraction of B is shaded? Oh, no. What fraction of B is unshaded? Bit more tricky. Unshaded. So make sure you don't count the shaded parts. You count in the unshaded parts. Well, actually, there's only one of them. One part is unshaded, which means not coloured in green like the others are. Unshaded, not shaded. And we need to know how many parts are altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts altogether. So what fraction of B is unshaded? It is 1 out of 5. It is 1/5. So that's our answer for question 2, 1/5. Pause if you need time to copy and we'll move on to question 3. Question 3 is adding some fractions. It's adding 3/8 to 4/8. So 3/8 plus 4/8. So when you're adding fractions, you don't add together the denominators, the bottoms. If they're both 8ths, you can keep the answer as 8ths. And you just have to do 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. So 3/8 plus 4/8 is 7/8. Just like 3 pizzas plus 4 pizzas is 7 pizzas. Or 3 teddy bears plus 4 teddy bears is 7 teddy bears. Well, 3/8 plus 4/8 is 7/8. That's question 3 done. Always pause if you need time to record. Please do record what I'm doing. That is how you will keep this in your head the best, by constantly writing it out. 6/9. Now we've got a minus question for fractions, haven't we here actually? 6/9 minus 2/9. So you've got 6/9, you give away 2/9, how many have you got left? Well, it's in 9ths, the denominator, the bottom number is 9ths in both parts of the question, so it's going to be 9ths in the answer. 6 take away 2 is 4. So if you had 6/9, you took away 2/9, you would have 4/9 left. And we've done question 4 already. Now we're on question 5. This is known as fractions of a quantity, because you've got a fraction, you've got an of, and you've got a quantity, which means a number. Fractions of a quantity. Fraction of a quantity. A quarter of 24. Well, how you find a quarter of 24 is you get 24 and you divide it by 4. It's like splitting a circle into 4 quarters. How do you split a circle? How do you find a quarter of a circle? You split it into 4 bits. How do you find a quarter of 24? You split 24 into 4. 24 divided by 4. We can use our songs to do 24 divided by 4. I'll just write the question. You should as well. 1/4 of 24. I'm going to sing my 4s up to 24 to find out how many 4s fit into 24. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I sang that on my fingers. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And my finger said 6. Because 1/4 of 24 is 6. It's the same as 24 divided by 4. So if you know division, it will help you a lot with your fractions. Question 6 is very much connected to question 5. But this time it's 3/4 of 24. We found 1/4 of 24 up the top. That was 6. But now we've got 3/4 of 24. So we've got more. So this is going to be more than 6. Because 1/4 is worth 6. What's 3/4 worth? Well, if you want to find what 3/4 is worth, you first find 1/4, which is 6, by doing 24 divided by 4, which is 6. And then you get that 6 that you found and you times it by the top. You times it by the numerator. 6 times 3. 6 and 12, 18. That's 18. I did 6 times 3, didn't I, with the year 4 song. I'll use the 3 times table song as well. 3, 6, 9, 12 and 15, 18. Either way, it's 18. Because 6 times 3, you could also do 3 times 6. You could do whichever one you prefer. But the reason we're doing 3 times 6 or 6 times 3 is because we know that 1/4 was 6. So to find 3/4, we do 6 times 3, and it's 18. So those questions are linked. 1/4 of 24 is 6, but if you had 3/4 of 24, you'd have more. You'd have 3 lots of 6, you'd have 18. If you don't quite understand this, you can always look back at the videos, because the first 2 questions are from the first fractions video we did. The next 2 are from the next fractions video. The fractions of quantities, these ones, this is from video 3, the 3rd video in the playlist. These are from the 4th video, I believe, and the 5th video. Then we have some extra questions at the end. So you can look back at the videos. If you're stuck on what I just did, 5 and 6, look back at the 3rd of the fractions videos. We're going on to number 7. This is 2.5 plus 1/2. There's lots of ways of doing this. One way of doing 2.5 plus 1/2 is drawing it. You've got 1 whole circle, 2 whole circles. They're supposed to be the same size, by the way. My drawing might not be perfect. 2.5 plus 1/2. So that's 2 circles. I'll draw a half. It's supposed to be exactly a half. My pictures might not be brilliant, but you get the idea. 2.5, and then if you plus a half, what do you get? Well, you could put another half onto here. Now you'd have 1, 2, 3 whole circles, because 2.5 plus a half makes 3. So the answer is 3. 2.5 plus a half is 3, because you've got 2 here, and then a half goes with another half to make another whole 1. So you've got 2 whole 1s in green, and you've got 1 other whole 1 in the purple, and the answer is 3 altogether. 2 whole 1s plus 1 whole 1 is 3. So 2.5 plus a half is 3. And we're on question 8. 4.5 minus 3. Okay, then I'll draw 4.5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. So I drew not very good pictures, but you get the idea. 4.5 circles. You can draw this as well when you're solving these. Take away 3. Now I can literally take away 3. 1, 2, 3. What's left? 1.5. 1.5's left, isn't it? Because 4.5 take away 3 equals 1.5. 4.5 take away 3 equals 1.5. Because 4 take away 3 is 1, and you still had this half, which didn't get taken away, so it's 1.5. Question 8 done. We're on question 9 now, so year 3 might be done. They may continue, but year 3 didn't have to. You don't have to learn these equivalent fraction questions which are coming up until year 4. You can if you want. So we want to change 3/4 into equals, 3/4 equals mystery over 8. I'm going to leave the mystery empty, leave it blank. 3/4 equals something eighths. How many eighths is worth the same as 3/4? Well, what you just do is you look at, you don't know what's happened to the top here because it's a mystery, it's empty. But if you look at the bottom, you can work out what happened to it. It's usually going to be times, if not divide, but it's always times or divide. So what happens to 4 to get to 8? I'll sing my 4s till I get to 8. 4, 8, I times by 2. I multiplied, I should say, by 2, because 4 times 2 is 8. So when you know what you do to the bottom, it's only fair to do the same to the top. Times the top by 2 as well. 3 times 2 is 6. So we're saying that 3/4 is worth the same as 6/8, because if I draw 3/4, well, I would colour in 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. And if I draw 6/8, it should be the same size. The same size as 3/4, because 6/8 is worth the same as 3/4. How I draw eighths is I put it into quarters first, then I do diagonal lines, and that's how you get 8 pieces. So there's 8 pieces here. And if I colour in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you see that the green should take up the same space on both pictures. The empty part, which I'll now do purple, is that big on that one, and it's also that big on that one. Hopefully that makes sense to you, that 3/4 is the same size as 6/8. It looks different, but it's worth the same. 3/4 equals 6/8. Move on to question 10. Question 10, 2/3 equals a mystery on the top over 9. 2/3 equals a certain number of ninths, but we don't know how many. So I don't know what's happened to the top because there's a mystery there. So I can't work out what's happened there, but I can work out what's happened there. What do you do to 3 to get to 9? Well, I'll sing my 3s, count on my fingers and see what my fingers say. 3, 6, 9. My fingers say 3 because I multiplied by 3. Because you're just saying here that 3 times 3 is 9. So you realise that you must have times this by 3 to get to 9. So to be fair, just times the top by 3 as well. Like if you have a brother or sister, you always want things to be fair. If they get multiplied by 3, you want to get multiplied by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So our answer is 6/9. Because 2/3 is the same size as 6/9. That's question 10 done. Just some word problems to finish off. These can be the harder ones. I know you get a lot of these in your mental arithmetic books if you're using those. What fraction of 25p is 5p? This is really saying how many 5p's fit into 25p. So really all you have to do is sing your 5s up to 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. My fingers are saying 4. No, they're not. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. My fingers are saying 5. What fraction of 25p is 5p? My fingers are saying 5 because it's 1/5. And my 5 gives me the fifths. Because what fraction of 25p is 5p? 5p is a lot less than 25p, so it's only a fraction of it. It's actually 1 part out of 5. 5 is 1/5 of 25. So the answer is 1/5. These word problems may take quite a lot of practice to get the hang of. Last one though. Hopefully you're still with me. Certainly year 4s. How many whole ones are equal to 5/15? I wonder if you know how many whole ones. Sorry. It's fifths, isn't it? We're looking at fifths. How many fifths in one whole? We've actually got one here. They weren't all coloured in. Let's just finish the last one. Just say they were all coloured in. Now that we've made a hole here, haven't we? On shape B, we've made a hole. All coloured in. All shaded. This is a whole circle. How many fifths are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/5 is one whole circle, isn't it? 5/5. Not 15/5. Okay, so the answer is not 1. Well, maybe it's 2 whole ones. How many fifths is 2 whole ones? How many fifths is 2 whole circles? Well, we've only got one drawn. I'll draw another one. Now, these parts are supposed to be equal parts. My drawing might not be perfect. Fractions, you do split things into equal parts usually. But let's say they were fifths. That's really not very well divided. Best I can do, really. That's in 5 parts, isn't it? We want to colour them all in if we want 2 whole ones. You don't really have to colour them in, to be honest, to do the work in. But I've started now. So now, in total, I have a picture of 2 whole ones, don't I? 2 whole circles. 1 circle at the top, 1 circle at the bottom. How many fifths is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's 10/5. 2 whole ones is 10/5. We are looking for 15/5 though, aren't we? Some of you, I'm sure, know what the answer is going to be. I'm going to need to draw another circle. I'm sure many of you know what the answer is anyway, but I will draw another circle. Need to make it quite a good picture. Try and divide it into fifths as equally as I can. I find this a bit difficult with the mouse, to be honest. They're supposed to be equal parts, but you get the idea. You don't have to colour them all in, but I will now just to make them all the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I've got 3 whole circles here. 1, 2, 3. 3 whole circles. How many fifths is 3 whole circles? How many fifths will it be? 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 15 fifths. That's what we were looking for. What did the question say? How many whole ones are equal to 15 fifths? 15 fifths equal to 3 whole ones. The answer is 3 whole ones. 3 whole circles is the same size as 15 fifths. Okay, we have the answers just like on morning maths. Here they come. You might want to pause here to check over them, make sure you did okay. If you don't get anything, look back at the fractions videos. I think it's worth saying this again. The first 2 questions, if you're struggling with those, they come from fractions video 1. The next 2 from fractions video 2. These ones from fractions videos 3, which you can find in the playlists. These from fraction video 4. And these from fractions video 5. The word problems could really relate to many of them, although in video 3 I do go over quite a few word problems. So I hope you can see all the answers, and I'll see you again for more practice next time. Thank you.